Hi there, and welcome into the OurVentura show. I'm your host. I'm Dave Elliott, and we're here today with a very special lady who's, in her own words, has kind of lived a double life. But we don't want to go into the double life until we get ready to do it. But I'm going to introduce you to my immediate right is the lovely Annie Gabriel. Annie, thanks for coming on OurVentura.
Thank you.
And being ready to, well, you know, in old statements, come out of the closet, but you're not going to really come out of the closet. You're just going to come out of a double life that you've been leading, because everybody sees her all dolled up and doing the things she usually does. And this girl's had Lyme disease for a long time, and she's been an advocate of it. And we have a number of things we're going to show, we're going to talk about, and I'm going to let Annie run with it. But right now, I just want to talk about a program situation on it that has to do with a man that is a Democrat who's a chairman of the House Committee on Post-Audit and Oversight, and his name is David Linsky, and he has a son who has Lyme disease. Andy, would you like to elaborate a little bit on that particular area?
Well, actually, we've been waiting quite a while for somebody with any kind of name or clout to come forward and be an advocate for this cause. It's kind of a lonely job being the advocate for awareness and education on this little-known disease. However, it's on the verge of being an epidemic, even though not a lot is known about it. So it's a blessing that I'm so sorry the man's son is sick with this disease, but it's actually going to help us further, because we've been fighting for at least 20 years to get any kind of recognition or help on the medical level.
Having looked over what you sent me, and we've known each other quite a while. Folks, she calls me the professor, as does her mom. And I've been working closely with both of them on numbers of projects. And the fun thing is that I adore them, they adore me. So Annie nicknamed me the professor.
That's right.
And I really adore that. I really, you know, it touches my heart whenever you send me emails and posts and things that I know what you're saying to me. And we are both Christians. We love the Lord. And so I want to ask about this situation with Lyme's. There's so many ways you can get it. Having read the article, it talks even about from spider bites. Can you give me an idea of what kinds of spiders and insects can actually pass on Lyme disease? Because it really started from an old town in Connecticut. I think it was called Old Lyme. Would you like to, I would like you to express yourself on that one.
Yeah, Lyme disease as we know it has been around since the early 70s, and it was discovered in a town called Old Lyme, Connecticut, Lyme. Therefore, that's why the disease is called Lyme disease.
Okay.
A lot of people mistakenly call it Lyme's disease, Limes, like the fruit.
Like the fruit.
No, it's Lyme disease.
Yeah.
And this town had a pocket of sickness from infants to seniors. Everybody was displaying the same kind of symptoms, arthritic symptoms, children with Alzheimer's, heart failure. The whole town was sick. Well, they traced it back to Plum Island, which is right off the coast of Old Lyme, Connecticut. That's it's a government installation that's been there post-World War II, and then it got active again post-Vietnam. So something went awry. The migratory animals the birds flew the infected ticks over to the mainland in the early 70s. It comes from ticks.
Okay.
Infected ticks. And so it started in the 70s. Well, it's taken 40 years to sweep across the entire country. It is in epidemic proportions
40 years.
40 years in the making of this toxic illness for which there is yet no cure. So many things go against a person who actually does have Lyme disease. The misinformation. It's misdiagnosed as fibromyalgia, MS, Parkinson's, Lou Gehrig's disease, early Alzheimer's, heart condition. The crippling comes from, as me, I'm in a wheelchair sometimes, as I am today.
She only is in a wheelchair, folks. I want to hold this up. She's with a beautiful cane. She happens to make these canes, too, for other people.
Well, I figure
so
if we're
we left it here on the table, didn't we, Andy?
Yeah,
we wanted them to see.
I figure if you got to be crippled, you might as well be cool. Well, I do a lot of things to keep the spirits up, not only for myself, but for the other people with Lyme disease. The most important thing for people to know, there's no one test that will definitively give you an answer. the testing that's out there already as the first line of defense will a lot of high incidence of false negative. I'd say 70%. That's being cautious. And so you go get the test. You're curious. You want to know if you have it. You've been bitten, but you don't see a rash or anything. And then the test will tell you you don't have it. It's a false negative. Well, in reality, you very well may have it, and a lot of times they do have it. But it gets ignored, brushed under the covers. You run around from doctor to doctor, all kind of specialists, and then they treat you nowadays piecemeal by body parts. So there's nobody putting it all together. The other thing is the medical school curriculum in the West Coast medical schools are not really pushing this envelope. They're talking about Lyme disease, they're talking about antibiotics to fix Lyme disease, but that is if you're lucky enough to catch it within the first couple of weeks, and if you're lucky enough to show a bullseye rash, which is like a bullseye. Well, very small percentage of people who actually get bitten and have it display the rash. So there we have the second line of defense. Sure enough, you're going to get thrown to the side and told you go see a psychiatrist because maybe you have depression. Maybe it's menopause. I am so sick of that.
That or stress or other
stress
things
related
in life.
or whatever. And in my case, when I was first going through the mill, it took them 12 years to give me a diagnosis. That's why I'm kind of behind the eight ball at this point.
I'm going to take the time right now, Annie,
Sure.
because there's a lot of articles you've put together, and everybody knows you came out of the Screen Actors Guild. You're an emissary here, or liaison, however one wants to use it. So I'm going to hold them up in front of the camera.
Okay.
This is out of the Community Spotlight. Annie's picture's in here, and it's called Sit Back, Relax, and Heal. And she offers new perspectives on treating Lyme disease, Lyme. And then I have another one. This is kind of tied in indirectly. It's the Hollywood Healthcare Safety Net Committee Handbook. And I know she's a member of that, and she with the Screen Actors Guild's on here. And well, Annie and I
that one there gives advocacy and free programs for people in the whole state of California, including Ventura. Ventura's in that book.
Annie has a business card. You can see this if they want to show it later. It gives you her titles and everything about what she does. There's another one here that is a double page, more than double page. It's gorgeous put together, and it's called It's Lyme Time, Lyme Disease 101. And that says an awful lot. And this is out of the Your Health Net Connection magazine. And then the last thing I'm going to show as we continue to talk, because we're getting down to about 5 minutes or so, is out of the Breeze. Annie writes a lot of articles for the publisher of the Breeze, Ventura Breeze, and it's called, on the health section of the paper, it's Lyme Time, tick, tick, tick. It's all cute. And
well, the good thing about today is, Professor, today, my title of this show is called The Double Life of Lyme.
Exactly, which I was.
And I'm doing a sister article for The Breeze in the next issue called The Double Life of Lyme.
Okay.
So why I call it The Double Life is I live a double life. It's taken me years to really get to the point where, you know what? I have got to stop pretending that I'm okay. I am okay.
And then people don't realize it. And
the credibility goes out the window.
Yeah, they misjudge you.
Yeah, because I show up and...
they can see you in this wheelchair. She's in a wheelchair, folks. Many times she'll be with a cane or walker. But this time she's in the wheelchair, which is really telling you she is coming out and standing for what she knows is the right thing to do.
Well, I spend most of the week in the bedridden. Mm-hmm. So I do a lot of these projects from my bed. I've started online support groups, blogs. I've been co-facilitating the Los Robles Hospital Lyme disease group with Lisa Messner for almost 8 years now.
Right.
We've been doing that every month over at the hospital,
right.
And now we do it quarterly.
Wow.
So I'd like to start one here in Ventura at this hospital or both the hospitals. The need for it is it's out there. People need to know. And
what's curious is in this article too, Annie, I'll let you continue,
sure.
But I just want to throw this in. Many people think they have maybe a yeast thing. Mm-hmm. What really bothered me when I read this is that I was late in the last few weeks, I was told that I had a yeast infection.
In your system?
I'm still, yes. And I've had it once before in my life. It was in my bladder. But this time it was in my colon. And obviously we all know the digestive tract's very important. Because it helps you have your right blood system, as it goes through your immune system, everything can be affected. So I'm a little concerned about that. We want to talk now about Dr. Fred Siciliano, who is now treating you as well. And Dr. Fred's a friend of mine. I've had him on these shows and my own. As you know, I'm a guest. I'm a host of my own 2 shows. But today I'm hosting for a very fine man by the name of George Alger, and he does the producing for this particular show called OurVentura. So go ahead, talk about Dr. Fred, and what you're going on there.
Well, backtrack a bit. When you have this disease, the thing I teach at lectures and workshops is that you cannot just depend on a doctor, a medical doctor, to just go get prescriptions. That is not going to cut it with this disease. You have to put a team together. A person has to put, it takes a village. It takes a village to put a Lyme disease person back together again. And they don't know that. Friends, family, I have chapters in my book called From Limelight to Lyme Hell. That comes from my 15 years in showbiz, and now, of course, that's not happening. So now my advocacy is for this. What you have to do is so I help people. I'm a Lyme literate life coach and a certified hypnotherapist. So what I do is try and help people put the program together. And I've been doing this as a personal humanitarian thing for years. And I want to keep doing it. And
so you are, giving out this information.
Right, because you need somebody to show you. There's nobody out there that's just going to say, oh, here, you can do this, this, and this, and then you have a life again. Nobody's doing that anywhere.
In these last couple of minutes, let's give out your website, your address, your email address, your phone number, Dr. Fred's, who you're working with right now and being treated by.
The combination of seeing Dr. Fred, who is an herbalist and acupuncturist, combined with the Oasis Wellness Center, which is the far infrared sauna detox.
Right.
Those 2 modalities together have done a great number on being able to help a person detox some of this out of their body. And then Dr. Fred especially can help balance the system, which will address the systemic
Correct, because he does blood testing, and then he goes off of your blood type to what foods he needs to make for you. And he makes his own foods. As both of us know at this point, he's a tremendous person.
Well, the systemic candida is a huge problem for a lot of Lymies.
That's another one.
It's made me gain 50 pounds of toxic bloat.
Oh my gosh.
So it's trapped in me. It holds on to all the toxins. Oh. They're not coming out, which contributes to organ dysfunction and the reasons why people go in and out of the hospital thinking they're going to die all the time.
Right. That's another thing I was diagnosed with was candida. And I have a dear friend who's had candida for over a century. Or not a century, I'm sorry, over a couple of decades. Let's put it that way.
Let's bring them on the show.
Really, and it's a lady, and she's a friend. She's a Christian reporter. She lives in the county. So with those things, I want to again give out in the last little over a minute. Give out that information.
If they want to get a hold of me, my email address is LymeDiseaseCoach@gmail.com. That's LYME disease coach, and that pretty much they can email me and ask me any questions. We'll get in touch, and I can help them, counsel them through, and see if any way I can help.
Okay.
And then Dr. Fred, do you have his number to give out?
I don't have the number directly, but I can give his website. It's Dr. Fred at drfredsoffice.com, I believe is the website on his card. If you're not, we'll get people in touch. They can call you or call me.
Right.
And deal with me.
And then the last one is the Oasis is 805.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm looking for the page.
Yeah.
805-777-8122. Ask for Jackie.
There we go. With that, this is Dave Elliott, the host of today's Our Ventura program with my guest, Annie Gabriel, and who has come out of the closet very, very well. And normally I would say come back. Only George can do that, but I know he will.
The Lyme closet.
I say have a great day. May God bless.
Thank you.